Hi, I am Lynette. I am Miss Murphy's guest speaker. Generally, whenever we would have these classes on campus, I would come and talk to all of Miss Murphy's classes. Ever since I took her classes back in 2012, took her speech classes, and ever since then she's invited me back to give the speeches that I gave in class as an example for all the upcoming classes. And since we're doing it this way this year, this is how we're going to do it, okay? So my name is Lynnette, as I said. Today's objective is to give you the speech that I gave in class. Well, actually, I'm not going to give you the speech that I gave in class because I messed it up so bad. But I'll tell you about it at the end. I'm going to give another speech, a quick demonstration speech. But before I do that, I'm going to give you the instructions. And we're going to talk just a little bit about how to write and develop a demonstration speech. But first, a quote on public speaking. Emmanuel James Ron, who was an American entrepreneur, author, and motivational speaker, said, "Take advantage of every opportunity to practice your communication skills so that when important occasions arise, you will have the gift, the style, the sharpness, the clarity, and the emotion to affect other people." So why on earth do we do public speaking? Well, it's to communicate. And a lot of times we need to affect other people. We want to cause a little bit of a change in the way they think, or maybe to introduce new information, or like in this case, to show them something really cool. And this is how you do it. Demonstration. The 6 P's of life. Always remember the 6 P's of life. Proper preparation prevents pitifully poor performance. And we always want to avoid pitifully poor performance. So for your demonstration speech, your speech will need to be 3 to 5 minutes long. My experience with Miss Murphy is that we don't want to go over time. If you are demonstrating something and you're having really hard time fitting it into time, within your 5 minutes, generally you can talk to Miss Murphy about it. Maybe y'all can work something out, but you don't want to go over the time for your actual speech. If your video is just a little bit longer than 5 minutes because you're showing your audience, as we're supposed to do, you show your audience beforehand, and then you show your audience again at the end, so that we'll know that you really did have an audience. So those seconds don't count toward being over time. But we want to make sure that your speech is within the 3 to 5 minute time period. It's going to give you, let me move this over just a little bit, 75 points. It's worth 75 points. Now you want to choose your topic wisely. Now there's a lot of warnings that I like to give, and it's mostly because, as people, we make mistakes. And so when we do, or when people do, I like to catalog them and say, okay, so you want to make sure you don't do this and that. So there was this guy in my class who did not choose wisely. And I'm not going to tell you what he did. Leave it to your imagination. Choose wisely, okay? But you want to make sure there's nothing vulgar. You want to make sure it's not risque or violent, or if it's martial arts or something that you want to show, that's not really violent. If it's like in a sparring thing, like if you and your buddy want to, no, this is really cool. You can actually do this kind of thing. I'm going to show you how to, and then show us how. It's really cool. There was this girl in my class who was a gymnast, And yeah, we pulled the tables back and we let her have the middle of the room, and she just went, oh my gosh, it was so cool. It really was. So you can actually do things. And the thing with being able to do your demonstration speeches at home or wherever out there, you're not confined to the classroom, is that if you want to do something like sparring with martial arts or do gymnastics or whatever, you know, flying through the air with the greatest of ease, you can do that. All you have to have is your cell phone, right? To video it. Awesome. So you're not constrained to the class. So this actually is going to be much more liberating for you guys than it would be were you confined to the classroom. Awesome. Okay, make sure that the topic that you choose drives your enthusiasm, because if you are excited about your topic, then you will be exciting. If you're enthusiastic, that is going to bleed over into your audience. They'll be enthusiastic about it too. Okay, make sure nothing vulgar, nothing offensive. Choose wisely. Big must, you must have an outline. So there is an outline posted on the page for you, on the assignments page. There's one that is just for an example, and then there's a form. All you have to do is, you know, hit the tab button, and it goes to a block, and you just type into the block everything that you need to type in. Very easy. Don't forget, save it with your name, with your class number, so OL, whatever the number is, and with the title of your speech. So Jimmy Neutron OL2 demonstration. Okay. I know y'all know who Jimmy Neutron is, right? Okay, so to write your speech, you want to have a script. Very important. Even if you know that you know that you know what you're doing, you want to have a script. I did not use a script, and it was so bad. Oh my gosh. But I'll tell you about that later. Okay, so write a script. Be very succinct. Make sure that you don't prattle on with it. You want to, because you only have 3 to 5 minutes. So you want to bring everything down, okay, as tight as you can. If the process that you're demonstrating is really involved, cool. That's really cool. Just make sure that you simplify it. So if you're a carpenter and you want to show how to build this beautiful armoire, that would be awesome. Of course, we only have 3 to 5 minutes. So what you would do is you would talk about it, and you would show either a little video or put, like I'm using a PowerPoint, put pictures of the progress. If you want to show a recipe, recipes are really popular. You would do, you know, you would talk about it, and you would show pictures. This is the progress. These are the tools you need. These are the pans and the pots and the whisks, and these are the ingredients that you're going to need to do this project. So you can demonstrate anything. Be succinct, bring it down, 3 to 5 minutes, show lots of pictures, or show yourself actually doing parts of it. Really cool stuff. Make sure that the instructions make sense. Okay, ask somebody who knows what you're doing. Say, hey, how does this sound? Talk to somebody who doesn't know what you're doing and say, hey, does this make sense to you? Can you follow this? Because you want to get that kind of feedback before you actually do your speech for your audience and for your video. You also must have visual aids. It's a demonstration after all. Okay, so you can use, like we said, PowerPoint. If you want to show how to play a guitar, really cool. Show your guitar, play it. It'll be awesome. Just make sure to remember, this is not a concert. You're going to show us, this is a guitar. This is how it's built. This is where the sound comes from. and so on and so forth. This is how you make sounds. Not a concert. Ooh, yes. Gymnastics, dance, martial arts, cool stuff. Whatever you know how to do. Because I guarantee you, each and every one of you out there, you know how to do something that's unique to you. It's what drives you. You really enjoy it. And it's stuff that we would look at and go, oh my goodness, I just never even, wow, people actually do that? That's cool. That's really interesting. I might want to do it too. That's what this is all about, okay? Choose wisely, something you enjoy. Practice, practice, practice. That's something I did not do because I knew what I was doing, I thought. Make sure you don't get distracted by what you do. If my husband were to show how to play his guitar, he would get all up in it and he'd lose complete track of time. Don't do that. Don't lose track of time. Watch your time. That's something else I did not do. But I'll talk about that later. Okay, so this is my demonstration speech. Ready? Now, my camera is mounted, so I would prefer to stand and walk around, but I can't do that with this camera. So we're just going to go with it, okay? So, reflexology. Reflexology is a modality of holistic medicine which dates back to the time of the ancient Egyptians. It is the scientific method of stimulating nerve endings, thereby sending electrical impulses via the spinal cord to various parts of the body. This then helps the body to release nervous tension, to release nerve blockages, to allow the free flow of vital energies, and to help the body heal itself. We do reflexology by using a specialized controlled compression with the fingertip or the thumb to very precise points of the feet or hands. So this is how we do. Well, I'm going to show you a picture first before I show you how. So I love the color coding on this picture. You will notice, see my little cursor? You'll notice on the body here, the heart is red. And over here on the left foot, we see this red area. Well, this red area is the sympathetic autonomic reflex area for the heart. And you've got the stomach is in green, and over here on the foot, the stomach reflex is in green. And then you've got on the right side, the liver. We've got it purple, and over here, the liver reflex area is purple. It just kind of helps us find our way around. So what we'll do is look at the hands. The reflexes are laid out pretty similarly in the hands, but because the hands are so short, it looks like they're squished down. But I want you to notice a couple of specific places. Notice, you see this spot over here, the adrenal gland reflex? You've got one, oh, they don't show the other one. You've got one in each hand because you have a kidney on each side, and the adrenal glands sit right on top of the kidneys. Pretty cool. The adrenal gland produces adrenaline, cortisol, and epinephrine. So whenever we stimulate the adrenal gland reflex, it helps the adrenal glands to either produce or to back off producing whatever it is it needs to do. It helps the body heal itself. It helps the body balance out. So I want all of you guys to try. Right under this knuckle right here, stick your finger right in there. There's going, you have to hunt around. There's going to be a little spot. There it is. That's kind of tender. It's pretty tender. And so what you want to do if you want to affect just the adrenal gland reflex is you stick your finger in there and you just kind of wiggle it around on that hurty spot. That's the adrenal gland reflex. It's awesome. So if you have any kind of really, if you have any kind of ache in your body, you can go to the specific reflex area on your hands or on your feet, and you stimulate that spot, and it helps it to calm down, helps it to stop hurting. If you stimulate the adrenal gland reflex, it'll send cortisone and epinephrine to that part of the body. Well, to your entire body, actually, but it'll get there to that part of the body and help it feel better. So that's stimulating a specific area. To do like a whole hand or whole feet, what you would do, take your fingertip and you want to press down and push forward and then roll up, always pushing down. Push forward, roll up, push forward, roll up, push forward, roll up. Because what you're doing is there's the little nerve reflexes in there. They're kind of like fern fronds. You know what a fern looks like? And they're kind of all like this. And then whenever you push down on them and push forward, they open up. And when they open up, the blood, as it circulates, can go through there and bring fresh oxygen and fresh nutrients and help to stimulate that reflex, clean it out, give it what it needs to help the body heal itself. In closing, though it's been around for thousands of years, reflexology remains a holistic, drug-free alternative to traditional healthcare. Awesome stuff. I hope you enjoyed my demonstration video. And how was that? That wasn't too bad, was it? Now, for my mess up, I'm going to just tell you really quickly what I did. I used to be a massage therapist about 150 years ago. I was a massage therapist for about 30 years. And so whenever I came back to school and I got Miss Murphy's class, and she said, everybody needs to do a demonstration video. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got this sewn up, because I always show people how to do massage. And usually it's like, so-and-so's hubby has a headache, or so-and-so's wife has got this or that. And so I just can't help it. I always show people how to do this stuff. So what I did was, there was this one person in the classroom who, he was very nice. And so we chit-chatted just a little bit. And I asked him, I said, look, I want to do this for my demonstration video. Would you mind, just all you have to do is just sit there and let me demonstrate on you? And of course, who doesn't want a free massage? And so he says, sure. Did not discuss it any further than that. Didn't plan with him, didn't practice with him, didn't write a script. I'm totally unprepared, but in my mind, I knew what I was doing, because I've been doing this for 30 years, right? So we get there, and I've got a little stool that turns. And so I had him sitting on the stool, and it was February, and it was freezing cold that year. Can I tell you? It was freezing cold that year. And so everybody's always in these huge sweaters and parkas and very covered up. And so he was up there, and he had a big sweater. And yeah, that comes into play. Hang on a second. And so I had my bottles of lotions and potions and powders, and I very quickly was talking about, okay, so here we have lotion, here we have oil, here we have powder, we have all these different things. I was talking about those very quickly so I could get on to my demonstration. And I said, so if you're at home and the person that you're going to massage is comfortable, whatever setting, to pull off their shirt, you can work directly on the skin and use the oils. Well, out the corner of my eye, I see this. Okay. Well, we didn't talk about it, so I can't be surprised. But when he did that, everybody in the class went, I thought it was because It was February and it was cold and he took his shirt off in the freezing. It was cold. But when I looked over there at him, I was not prepared for what I saw. As I said, we had all been wearing big, bulky clothes because it was freezing cold. You ever see the movie 300? You know, with the Spartans and all that skin and all those muscles. Holy cow. That's what he looked like. I was not prepared. But you know what? I've been doing this professionally for 30-something years. I've worked on people like him. I worked with a whole powerlifting team. I've worked with people like him. It just caught me by surprise, okay, because we didn't practice first. And so I went over to him, I got a little oil, and I'm rubbing the oil all over his shoulders, and I'm talking about how to find the knots up here in the shoulders, because everybody's got them. And so then I start looking for the knots, and I'm rolling through the shoulders, and I'm not finding any knots. But I keep talking, but I can't find any knots. And so I talked, and I talked and talked, and I'm looking, and so I go down lower, down his back, and around his neck, and I keep talking, but in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, his tissues, they're so clear. It's like butter. Oh my goodness. Because if you roll your fingertip through your arm right now, it's probably going to feel a little bit like cold mashed potatoes. That's ischemia. It's natural. He didn't have any of that. And so I got distracted. And when I looked at the clock, I didn't look at the clock. I thought I didn't look at the clock. I thought about it. Oh no, the other side of the room hasn't seen him or hasn't, seen me do this. So I turned him and I showed the other side of the room what I was doing. And then I looked at the clock and it had been 15 minutes. 15 minutes on a 5-minute speech. So I rushed him up and I grabbed my stuff and I got to my seat as fast as I could. Oh my gosh. And I kicked myself in the butt for months. I did not write a script because I knew what I was doing. I didn't practice because I knew what I was doing. I didn't plan with him because I'm in charge and I know what I'm doing. And I didn't watch the clock. And I got distracted. Boy, did I get distracted. So I say all that to say this. Write your script. Practice, practice, even if you know what you're doing. If you're going to have somebody there with you doing it, practice with that person. This is exactly what we're going to do. Choreograph it even so that you don't go over time, so that you don't waste time in the middle of it. Okay? Y'all are going to do awesome. I can feel it. I hope I get to see some of y'all's videos. Good luck to you. And remember, if you have any questions, email Miss Murphy, dmurphy@rpcc.edu. Y'all know that by now, though, don't you? Good luck to you guys. I know y'all are going to do great.